What's going on, everybody? I'm your host, Carmelo, here at the Fantasy Front Office Network. Today, we're going to be talking about my favorite players that are falling outside the 250 ADP range. I have 7 hitters, 7 pitchers. We're going to get right into it. Number 1, Kyle Manzardo. If you're lacking in power, this is an obvious choice. His ADP currently at 255. Big power upside. Could hurt you in the average department, but his OPS is not going to hurt you if you have an OPS league. His OPS last year at 768, obviously a career high in his 2 career seasons. Not bad marks for a guy going outside the 250 at 255. My next player, Luis Arraez. Now, if you're lacking in batting average because you have too many Kyle Manzardos on your team, this is a great guy to have. This guy consistently hitting over 300 every year. Last year, only 292. I expect a bounce back from him. I think he's better than that. And there's years where he can hit for a high OPS as well. He's done it before. He's hit close to, over 800 OPSs in his career before. Obviously, that was a monster year for him, hitting 354 that year. But this is a guy that really will help you in batting average. Now, you have to understand, he's not going to be great at stolen bases. He's not going to be great at scoring runs, really. He's not going to be great at RBIs. He'll be fine. But if you're lacking in the average department and you really need to pick me up, if you have categories that count hits, this is a good investment past the 250 ADP mark. He's currently going at 264. Just a useful guy, a very useful guy in that regard. Number 3, Jason Dominguez. Now, this is more for dynasty guys. Jason Dominguez is, still has that high ceiling potential that he was showing in the minors before. Hasn't really done it yet in the majors, and I've been a sucker for him myself. But keep an eye on him, because if he does end up winning a starting role with the New York Yankees, he has the potential to be a very, very good hitter. I mean, he's got high exit velocities. I mean, last year he hit one for 112. That's a great exit velocity, right? This guy's going to steal you bases. He has the opportunity to be a great player. He's fast on the base path. I think he is a guy that can take walks. I just think he needs more plate appearances, more at bats. And if he's sitting out there outside your top after your drafts, he might be worth a look. I mean, he's currently going at an average ADP of 279. He's still so young. So, Jason Dominguez, keep an eye on him in spring training. See what happens. Number 4, Marcel Ozuna. He's got the track record. This is a guy. Yes, he is only DH only, but this is a guy that does have a good track record, especially in the power department. Last year, the Atlanta Braves were a disaster. I'm not sure exactly everything that happened to him, but a lot of injuries and whatnot, and it just wasn't a good year for him. But he's with the Pittsburgh Pirates now, and yes, not the best of ballparks, not the best of teams, really. But this guy has the power to be able to hit the ball out of the ballpark. That lineup, and they're one of my sleeper teams this year to make the playoffs. That lineup could be getting a lot better this year. They've added Brandon Lowe. They've added Marcel Ozuna, Spencer Horwitz. They've added some good bats. You already have O'Neal Cruz there. You have Brian Reynolds there. They had terrible years last year. They're going to be looking to bounce back this year. I think Marcel Ozuna could be a very sneaky grab outside of the ADP 250. He's currently going at 281. So, I mean, a lot of these guys, if you don't have deep roster spots, these guys are all going to be basically free, right? Currently. I mean, who knows if their ADP rises, and we'll see what happens in spring training, of course. But right now, if you are drafting, Marcel Ozuna is out there, probably on your waiver wire if you've already drafted. And I think he could have a good season with a lot of new additions to the Pittsburgh Pirates. Number 5, Evan Carter, former top prospect. He came out of the gates in 2023. Only had 62 at bats in 2023, but hit for a 306 average, over 1,000 OPS, and then struggled with injuries the next 2 seasons. Again, former top prospect. Don't sleep on those guys. Sometimes it does take him a few years to adjust. He's still so young. He's 23 years old. He came up so early in his career. Don't sleep on those guys. Keep an eye on them. At least look at them. See what's happening in spring training. But he could be a draft day steal at the end of your draft. And if you're in dynasty leagues, if he ends up having a great season, his value only goes up. Trade value, everything. This is a guy that could boost your team this year. He's got speed. Those nagging injuries, they look to be done. He looks to be healthy coming up this spring. And, this guy could be a league winner, in my opinion, if he puts it all together this year. Next guy on my list, one of my favorite grabs this year, Jeff McNeil. And I think Jeff McNeil is incredibly underrated. I've had him on teams before where he's hit for high batting averages. He's currently going an average ADP of 334. He's in a better ballpark now. That lineup, the Athletics, I don't know what city they're technically from right now, but Sacramento, I guess. The Athletics lineup is I shouldn't say really good, but they're pretty good. And that ballpark itself, I mean, they're playing in a minor league ballpark. Jeff McNeil has never hit outside of Shea Stadium as his home, right? So a full season at that stadium, he could put up some big numbers. I could see him hitting 20 to 25 home runs with a 300 batting average. It's possible, and I think he's good enough to be able to do that. The Mets were done with him, but this is a guy that's capable of being able to hit 300. He's done it before, and he has hit 20 homers before. And you know what? This year could be a big year for him for the Athletics. And at second base, at a position that's pretty weak, if you didn't draft one early on, he might be a steal at that position, at that ADP. Falling outside the top 250, he's currently going 334. I'm telling you guys, he might be a draft day steal. My last hitter on the docket here, Moises Ballesteros, another former top prospect. Again, another guy, keep an eye on him in spring training. He could be winning a job on the opening day roster. Great walk rate, expecting batting average. He can hit for the batting average. He's got big power as well. He's got a max, he's got a max EV of 112. This is a guy that, at the end of your draft, if you've fallen behind on catchers, take a look at him. See what's going on in spring. See if he wins the job. If he's on that roster, he's worth a look. And a young player, 22 years old, bats left. That's one of the things I love in fantasy are left-handed batters because they're going to be facing a lot more opposite hands than right-handers. So Moises Ballesteros, keep an eye on him this spring. Might be another guy that could be a draft day steal. Now we'll get into the pitchers. One of my favorite pitchers, if you are in a saves and holds leagues to draft outside the average draft position of 250, Edwin Uceta, he's currently going at 262. 262, that's basically free if you're in a 10-team, 25-man roster league, or even possibly a 12. My cat decides he wants to join us here. He's in line. Pete Fairbanks is gone from Tampa. He could possibly get you a ton of saves. with that team, or even so in high leverage situations. If you're in a holds league, he can get you there too. So I think Edwin Uceta could be a draft day steal this year if he, especially if he becomes the closer. So obviously the Rays are not going to be a team that announces it, but he could get a fair share of them. Next on my list, Bailey Ober. Bailey Ober really fell apart last year. If you look at what he's done over his career, he's got a very low WHIP. Last year, kind of just disastrous year. He had injuries. Um, didn't make all his starts. But I mean, he did pitch quite a bit. I mean, he had 27 starts last year, but it just seems like there was nagging injuries that were bothering him, and he put up career worst numbers. I don't expect that from him this year. I think that he could bounce back. I think he could possibly get back on track to where he was even in 2024, where he had a high 3 ERA and a 1 WHIP. So Bailey Ober falling outside the average draft position of 250. He's currently right now going 288. So keep an eye on him, see how he's doing in spring, and see you could snag him at the end of your drafts. My next guy, Ian Seymour. Ian Seymour last year, I had him on my team. I actually, Ian Seymour last year, won me a few weeks towards the end of the year. I don't know what his status is going to be, if he's going to become a starter, or if he's going to become, a reliever. But he put up some good numbers while he was starting, and if he gets some starts, he could put up some pretty good numbers ratio wise. Even last year, he had a 3.63 ERA with a 1.18 WHIP. That's not bad. You'll take that, and 64 strikeouts in 57 innings. That's over a 9K per inning. Those are pretty solid numbers for a guy that really, towards the end of the year was getting a few starts and was looking pretty good. Now, some of those numbers are probably a little inflated with the fact that he was pitching out of a bullpen for a little bit, but this guy, if he's free essentially in your drafts, not a bad late round flyer to take to see if maybe he does all right for you. My next guy, Mitch Keller. And Mitch Keller was kind of shocking to me when I saw his ADP at 312. Now, I get it. Mitch Keller has really put everybody that's ever owned him through the ringer. Uh, I mean, last year, though, not crazy bad numbers. I mean, a 4.19 ERA, 1.26 WHIP. My marker usually is you have to have below 1.29 WHIP. That's just standard. If you're above that, then forget it. I'm probably not looking at you. But he is a guy that can get strikeouts. He has had 200 strikeout seasons before. The Pirates, again, I've mentioned them before when I talked about Marcel Ozuna. This team has gotten better around him. The starting pitching could be very good this year. It was good last year, really. I mean, they had great starters. Well, they'll have that plus a better offense around it. So, a 6-15 record. I mean, I know wins is a lot of luck, but this is a guy that probably can turn that around. I could see him having 15 wins and 6 losses this year, even with the same numbers that he had last year. I'll take that. It's not bad. Mitch Keller falling outside average draft position of 250, currently going at 312. My next picture on here, Adrian Morahan. I don't know if I pronounced that right at all. San Diego Padres. So he last year actually, as a reliever, had 13 wins, which is, take that with a grain of salt. A lot of it's luck and being put in the right situations. But he can get you a lot of strikeouts. He can get you a great WHIP, a great ERA, and if you're in a holds league, especially, this is a guy that you might want to target. He's going to be back in probably Mason Miller, as long as the rumors from last year aren't really true with him possibly turning into a starter, but had by far his best year last year. So Adrian Morehan, if you see him outside the draft of 250, average draft. Sorry, my cat is he's making his way over here. But if you see him pass late in the draft, he might be a good grab for you if you're looking for holds late in the draft. My next pitcher, Zach Eflin. Now, Zach Eflin, he's put up some really good numbers. He's been on some of my teams over the last 6 years during some of my championship runs. He was hurt last year. Again, another situation like Mitch Keller in a sense, where the team has gotten better around him. They've added Pete Alonso. They've got a good pitching staff, I shouldn't say a good pitching staff, a decent pitching staff now. And this is a team that definitely has championship aspirations. And they're going to want to try to, not only make the playoffs, but try to get to the World Series. I expect a lot of bounce backs on that team. Gunnar Henderson being one of them. Again, with the addition of Pete Alonso, that offense should be pretty good. And I expect Zach Eflin to have a bounce back year. Last year just seemed a little weird. 5.93 ERA, 1.42 WHIP. That's not like him. He's for the past 2 years he's been a low WHIP guy. 1.15 and 1.02, with decent amount of strikeouts as well, and a 3.50 ERA. This is a guy that I think can turn it around, and he's falling outside the 250 ADP, currently going at 400 on average. So, which is kind of surprising. I mean, 1 year shouldn't knock you down that far, but maybe people are sleeping on him and or just sick and tired of what they saw from last year. So we'll see what happens there with Zach Eflin, but take a look out if you're trying to round out your starting rotation. Zach Eflin is a good guy to go look for. My last pick, Spencer Arrighetti. Spencer Arrighetti, I think I'm still falling in love with that second half of 2024, where he just, carried me to a fantasy championship and put up great numbers and looked like, honestly, he looked like a true ace, over 10K per nine. This is a guy that, was derailed last year with injuries. So to me, when I saw his ADP early on, kind of shocked me because I think this guy still has another gear to unlock, and if he finds that potential, and I do trust the Astros as an organization, if he finds that potential, he could possibly be a great addition to the back end of your rotation, and could even possibly surprise us, maybe sneak into that top 100 overall player rater section if he can put it all together. So those are my 7 hitters, 7 pitchers outside the average draft position of 250. Hope you enjoyed. I'll be back again soon. We'll talk to you later.